Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. In 2025, our queer stories have reached 11 million streaming views, and Queer News Tonight has been the most watched LGBTQ news and lifestyle show in the world this year.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ community. There is no other program in the LGBT world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Tuesday, September 9th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Happening Out is one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, in the same model as PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community. We support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community and want to inform and educate on the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture.
Our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience. Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ streaming stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our nonprofit 501c3 magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Cindy Brown. Cindy has been an activist for the LGBTQ+ community for 35 years, working for or serving on many local nonprofit boards. She served as the founding executive director of Miami Beach Pride and currently sits on the LGBTQIA advisory board for Miami-Dade County. She also runs her own consulting company, Synergy, for nonprofits helping with finance, strategic planning, board structure, grants, and more. Cindy, North Beach LGBTQ+ and Friends Weekly Social will be held at Twice Removed every Tuesday. Tell me, what's happening out?
Yes, this is exciting. Twice Removed will host a weekly social event for the North Beach LGBTQ+ and Friends community every Tuesday from 4 to 8 p.m. The gathering will take place at the bar's location at 3301 Northeast 33rd Street in Fort Lauderdale. Patrons can expect a welcoming atmosphere. Plus, you can enjoy a special menu designed for the group. North Beach LGBTQ+ and Friends is dedicated to building a vibrant, inclusive community where LGBTQ+ individuals, especially seniors and their allies, can connect and feel safe. More details about the event are available on northbeachlgbtqandfriends.org. This is really great. You know, the more things that are happening for seniors, the better, because there really is an epidemic of social isolation and loneliness in the senior community. So whenever there are activities like this that give people the opportunity to come out and be with community is awesome.
I just recently, someone came to an event we were at, and I hadn't seen them in a while. I was like, where have you been? And they actually said that they'd just been afraid to get out lately because of the attacks, because of all the harassment and whatever. And so he just sort of self-isolated, and he sort of just forced himself to go out that night. And he was glad he did. But safe places are more important now than ever. So we're stronger together. And so when these see places and we're with our people, it's very, very important. And I think especially as we age. So yay.
Yeah. I think this is a great opportunity for volunteers too. We're coming
Right.
towards the end of the year. Our snowbirds are coming back into town. This is another opportunity where they can volunteer with LGBTQ
Right.
and friends and socialize. Again, get out. Isolation is real. And if they can get involved, whether it's with the organization or with Twice Removed or any other organization, this proves a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, these are awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at North Beach LGBTQ Plus and Friends Weekly Social on Tuesdays. Let's welcome Jason Núñez. Jason Núñez is a trailblazing leader, passionate entrepreneur, and fierce advocate for equality. He is president and CEO of the Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce, and as a third-generation minority Air Force veteran, he has served at the Pentagon, White House, State Department, and Department of Labor. Jason, Stonewall Museum to screen Eytan Fox's The Bubble on September 11th. Tell me, what's happening out?
Out South Florida, in partnership with the Stonewall Museum, is bringing back Stonewall Movie Nights. The program designed to spotlight films every LGBTQ person should see will feature gay filmmaker Eytan Fox's 2006 drama The Bubble on September 11th. The screening will take place at the Stonewall Museum and Archives at 6:30 p.m. with free admission available to all ages. While there is no charge, donations to the Stonewall Museum will be encouraged. In The Bubble, Fox tells the story of an Israeli and Palestinian gay couple whose fragile sanctuary is shaken by the harsh political and social realities of the Middle East. Known for alternating between camp classics and cinematic gems, the series will continue on the second Thursday of each month. More details available at stonewall-museum.org. So I'm really looking forward to specifically this movie, The Bubble, on September 11th. It kind of harkens me back to my time serving in the military and hearing the true stories about these Middle Eastern LGBT members who could die by being who they are. And to see this love story in film at the Stonewall Museum kind of captivates all the facets of my life, my military, my LGBT community, and just our history of where we've come from. So I'm really looking forward to this event on September 11th.
And I think it's really important that the LGBT community here be exposed to things that are happening in other parts of the world, because it's important that we can see beyond our own shores.
Yeah.
And understand that, and we are going through a really horrible time here in the United States in terms of our rights and our just existing.
Yeah.
And to be able to see how people who live in communities where it's far more dangerous, how they are able to still celebrate their love. And perhaps we can learn some lessons from that.
Right. Film and theater and music, and these are ways that we get to meet people we wouldn't meet otherwise.
Right.
And so once someone is human to you, once you meet them, you know them, you care about them, and that's what stories do. That's what film is so good at, is that we tend to think of issues like this war and these problems, and these are issues. Once they become people, then you're more invested, then you really care, and that's when we can make a difference. So I love that this project is introducing us to humans and personalizing. This isn't a news story. These are lives.
Right.
And this is helping us understand that. So once again, art saves the day. I was looking at the cast. I haven't seen it, and I don't know why I haven't seen it, because those are major people. Did you see? Those are superstars in this film.
I saw them. I've never seen it either. And unfortunately, I can't make it on Thursday, so I'll have to find another way to watch.
If you can, though, those of us who haven't seen it, we can fix that, because there it is. And I love what Stonewall Museum did. They do so many good things. And so
you know what? Their funding
take advantage.
is drying up. So it's really important, especially these organizations that help keep our culture alive.
Yes.
We need to support them, because the funding is, who knows if it will ever come back, but nobody's ever going to tell our stories.
Exactly.
And we need to make sure that we can tell them, and that's what Stonewall Museum does.
100%.
Yeah.
And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Bubble screening on September the 11th.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Bishop Durrell Watkins, the senior minister at Sunshine Cathedral, one of the most important LGBTQ churches in the world. He's an auxiliary bishop of the Global Justice Institute and the current president of the Divine Science Federation. Durrell, the Bears of South Florida pool party returns to Grand Resort on September 13th. And only a few tickets are left. Tell me, what's happening now?
The Bears of South Florida will host its highly anticipated pool party on Saturday, September 13th from noon to 4 p.m. at the Grand Resort and Spa. Guests will enjoy an afternoon of community, food, and fun, all in support of local LGBTQ organizations. Tickets are $35, and only a limited number remain. Advance purchase is required as tickets will not be sold at the gate. Each ticket includes lunch and snacks, while bar and beverage service will be available for cash donations. A 50-50 raffle will add to the excitement. Attendees are encouraged to bring towels, chairs, and sunscreen. Clothing is optional, though sexual activity is prohibited. Merchandise will also be available for purchase. Bears of South Florida provides a safe and welcoming space for the bear community of South Florida to socialize and engage in fundraising activities. More details about the events are available at BOSFL.org. Whenever there is trans, drag, religion, or bears, I seem to get it. That's my wheelhouse, apparently. Yeah. And I'm passionate about all these things. I love the bear community, and lately, all summer long particularly, it seems like they have been super active with fundraising and charity events and social events. They have really stepped up this summer, and so I'm so proud of them. I'm also want to point out, $35 is not a lot, nope. And it's for a great cause. Clothing optional. I love how free we are in our community. It's optional. You're not bound to. I think by court order, have to wear a caftan at least. But a lot of people, they get to, they get to expose whatever makes you feel good. Exactly. And of course, they say no sexual activity, but
no sexual activity.
You might get a wink. You might get a wink and a blink there, and then take it elsewhere. Who knows? But it's I love the Bears. I love all that they've been doing this summer, and this sounds like a great party.
Yeah, their pool parties are, legendary. So I hear. I've never been to one of them, but one of the things I do know about the Bears of South Florida is they are an incredible charitable organization. They're constantly raising funds for all different kinds of organizations, and not just LGBTQ organizations, children's charities, and they really are a community that wants to make a difference.
Good people.
Now, I don't necessarily know that I want to go to a bear pool party where clothing is optional, but for those of you
I ain't scared. Yeah, for those of you
that ain't scared, go, and I'm sure you'll have an awesome time, and you'll help raise money for some good folks.
Yeah, and I think the location, the Grand Resort and Spa, they just went through some renovations. They're a chamber member, so beautiful location, and to be able to open back up, to be able to start supporting these organizations, it's kind of a win-win on my end.
Right.
Both members, Bears of South Florida, are a member of the Chamber as well as the Grand Resort and Spa.
Hooray.
So super proud, Chamber Executive Director there for this event. All are welcome. I love that all body types are welcome, especially with the clothing optional. Yeah, I won't be.
And you don't have to be hairy. You can go if you don't have any hair.
True. I was at a Pride event one time, and a woman was wearing a shirt with a bear flag on it, and I was like, that's the bear flag, and she's like, yes, I identify as a bear. So let's see who shows up.
See there. Yeah, it's I love, and so many of us have had sort of body shame imposed on us, and I love that we have an entire community that says, here's me, love it, leave it, whatever. Right. This is who I am, and I'm beautiful in my own way. I love that so much. That has been a great comfort to me as I have aged over the years, because I am not quite twice what I was when I graduated high school, but I'm getting there. And the idea that that's okay, that's very empowering and very healing. So love the Bears of South Florida.
Right.
I meant to do that right. And I also love that they reminded you about sunscreen. Health is very important,
especially if you're doing the clothing option. Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you and seeing you at the Bears of South Florida pool party on September 13th.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Bishop Durrell Watkins, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Hotspots shines spotlight on Hispanic art and culture in Fort Lauderdale in its new issue coming September the 11th. Our Hotspots Happening Out LGBTQ lifestyle magazine, Hotspots, is back with a feature on Fort Lauderdale's rich cultural heartbeat. This time the spotlight is on History Fort Lauderdale and its 4th annual exhibit, Viva Fort Lauderdale, celebrating Hispanic art and culture. Running now through October 19th, this vibrant showcase celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month with powerful works by local award-winning artists and residents. Featured creators include Oscar Montoya from Colombia, Isabel Perez Salazar, and LaFrancis Rojas from Venezuela, and Florencia Clement de Grand Pre from Spain. Their art spans vivid colors, modernist landscapes, and street portraiture, capturing the energy and influence of Latin culture in South Florida. The exhibit is housed at the New River Inn on Southwest 2nd Avenue, and is supported by community foundations, Broward County cultural organizations, and Visit Lauderdale. Alongside this show, History Fort Lauderdale also hosts year-round exhibits, including the LGBTQ retrospective Take Pride, celebrating queer life in South Florida. This feature story and many more are included in your free copy of the upcoming issue of Hotspots magazine on stands this Thursday, September the 11th. Now, this sounds like a cute story, right? This sounds like a pretty story, a beautiful story. Yay, culture, history, have a good time. But of course, I'm going to have to rein on a little bit, because there is so much ugliness right now where just recently, basically the Supreme Court has given carte blanche to, if you look, sound, whatever, Latinx, that you can be a suspect. No due process, no just, and so that demands that whoever you are, whether it's trans or drag or Latinx or whatever, that you stand up and you show up and you're like, here I am, because they're trying to erase people. And so every effort to shine is not only important in healing, it is subversive, and it's absolutely necessary right now. So hooray for this, for the culture, for the history, for the standing up and shining as the people are. That is so needed right now, because entire communities are trying to be erased and silenced. And celebrations like this, a fun way of saying, not today, Satan.
Right. And I think that we all have to be visible, and not only for ourselves, but for other groups that are also feeling this pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though the stereotype is the Hispanic or Latin community does not support LGBTQ people, we should still be there supporting them. You know, if
and it's a mixed bag like everyone. You know,
if one group is oppressed, we're all oppressed.
We're all,
You know, it's important that we show up.
Yeah.
Even if it's not LGBT, we show up so we can say this isn't right. I don't care who you're doing it to, it isn't right.
It's not right.
Yeah, and I love the time period for honoring Hispanic Heritage Month. Well, so many of these affinity months are being erased, as you were talking about, to highlight these international artists. Arts and culture are key to our community,
right?
And key to telling a lot of untold stories. And just keeping it local, bringing it back. You know, we have the Claudia Castillo, Wilton Drive, artist local. Facundo Ubedne from Miami. Like, we have our local artists. Yeah, the Ducks, the Duckman.
The Duckman.
We have our local artists too that could also shine, will also shine on the international stage. So I love to be able to celebrate this during Hispanic Heritage Month as
absolutely
as a Puerto Rican.
Hopefully there'll be a Hispanic Heritage Month next year.
We'll see. And I've not yet been to Venezuela. I haven't had occasion to it, but I have been to Colombia several times, and I've been to Spain several times. Love them both so much. And there's sort of like, when I will go to Colombia, I come back, some well-meaning person will always say, did you feel safe? Of course I felt, why would I go? I wouldn't go. You know what I mean? So there's these narratives that are just silly. And so I love that, once again, once you know a person, once you see a person, once you have a human experience. So I love that these artists from Venezuela and Colombia and Spain are being featured, so that these aren't just some like rumors and gossip and weird stories. these are people doing amazing things, making our world better.
And it's a world-class art show.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
that's really important too. And we're hosting it here in South Florida,
Right.
which is really important.
So yeah, if you took out all the Dominicans, all the Puerto Ricans, all the Cubans,
Oh, it would be so
who would we
boring.
have?
It would be so
what
boring.
would we have left?
The food. What about all the delicious food?
So yes, this is important.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Cindy Brown, and let's queer up the USA view. Trans flag creator Monica Helms plans to flee the U.S. amid rising persecution. Monica Helms, the Navy veteran who created the transgender pride flag, says she's preparing to leave the United States with her wife, Darlene Wagner, because of intensifying anti-LGBTQ laws and threats. The couple, who live in Georgia, launched a GoFundMe earlier this year to fund their move abroad. Helms told the Bay Area Reporter, quote, "We are worried there's a possibility something could happen where we end up getting arrested just for being who we are," end quote. Georgia has also been labeled a high-risk state for transgender people by Aaron in the Morning's latest assessment. Since 2023, lawmakers there have introduced nearly 36 anti-trans bills, 4 of which passed, including bans on gender-affirming care for minors and restrictions on trans girls in school sports. Helms is far from alone. A May poll from the Williams Institute found nearly half of trans adults have considered relocating either to another state or another country. NBC has documented families fleeing to places like Australia and New Zealand, while earlier this year, a 22-year-old trans woman from Arizona filed for asylum in Canada. Despite leaving, Helms says her fight will continue. She wrote on GoFundMe, quote, "We will not abandon our activism," end quote. Her iconic pink, white, and blue flag, designed in 1999, remains free for all to use. She says, quote, "No matter how you fly it, it's always correct," which signifies finding correctness in our own lives, end quote. You know, I have seen a lot of people who are planning to or have already left the United States. I know a number of people who are in Portugal now. I think Portugal is a hotspot for folks to go. And I know a lot of people, even given the situation there, have gone back to Israel or gone to Israel to move. And you know, I have kind of mixed feelings about it, although I do walk around the world with privilege, so I can do that. I mean, even though I'm a lesbian, I'm a white woman, people think I'm a white man sometimes. But people are literally in fear for their lives, literally in fear for their lives and their children's lives. And there are some places in the United States that it just, and I hate to say this, it is not safe for us.
No.
There are places in this country that we as a community are not safe.
Right. I'm a hillbilly. I'm originally from Arkansas, and I always, of course, I went to graduate school in New York, and I spent 20 years so far in Florida, but I always assumed at the end I'd end up where I started, in the mountains somewhere, and I don't know that that's a good plan anymore, you know? Tennessee, Arkansas, any of those places. So, the cost of living is, so great or whatever, but I don't know that it's a smart
You get
plan.
what you pay for.
Right? I don't know that it's beautiful and it's affordable, but if it's not safe, who cares? So these are real concerns. And I thought, LGBTQ, we were all sort of in the same boat, but really trans is even more at risk lately.
Absolutely.
They're completely just targeted.
Trans women especially.
You should be able to live your life. If nothing else, you should be able to live your life without being afraid that your government's coming for you. Of course, these other people, these other fools, but surely the governor, I'm a citizen, I pay taxes, surely I'm safe from my own government. Not right now. Not right now. And so for those who, basically fight or flight is the option. I try to respect either option that you take. Right now, I'm still fight in the fighting mode. Eventually I may be in the flight mode. I mean, whatever you have to do to feel okay. But if you are in flight mode, I do just want to let people know there are several countries that are LGBTQ friendly that offer retirement visas. And so, because visa is a big issue. So if you're over 60 or whatever and you're thinking, oh, I need to get out, there are several countries that and Colombia is one of them.
After the show.
Right. All you have to do is you can apply for a retirement visa. And so I don't think the U.S. offers retirement visas, but other countries do, some of them LGBTQ friendly. So I'm going to stay and fight for a while. But if you want to be an expatriate, there really are options, even if you're, retirement age.
I think the part of, they're citizens and paying taxes and have the right to be here. She was a Navy veteran. She literally served her country.
Yes.
A veteran.
Defending the country that won't defend her.
Defending the country that won't defend her. And, she made the comment about, getting arrested for being who she is. Back in the day, I remember when it was just black folks who were like driving while black. Now it's driving while black, brown, Asian, trans, gay, lesbian, like name it. Like profiling is real. And I can walk around and be a Hispanic. I could be a Middle Eastern. I can be Egyptian.
Exactly.
I can
be a lot of things.
I can be a lot of things. I'm just not white. I am a target.
Right.
Exactly.
I am a target anywhere I go.
And the Supreme Court just said that's okay.
That's okay.
Who would have thought that the courts would ever have, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to flee safely.
Right.
We'll be here when you get back.
Exactly.
Maybe. We may join you. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Jason Núñez, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Compass earns triple nod at nonprofit awards. In Palm Beach County, Compass Community Center is heading into award season with a triple honor. The LGBTQ Plus Center has been nominated for 3 categories at the 2025 Hats Off Nonprofit Awards, a prestigious recognition that shines a spotlight on organizations making a profound impact. Compass is up for the Nonprofit Innovation Award for its groundbreaking programs, the Community Collaborators Award alongside Can Community Health, and the Nonprofit Award honoring staff leader Letty Gonzalez. In a statement, Compass shared, quote, "These nominations celebrate the creativity, partnership, and leadership that makes Compass a vital home for our LGBTQ plus community. Thank you to our team, volunteers, donors, and partners who make this recognition possible," end quote. For nearly 35 years, Compass Community Center has served Palm Beach County's queer community. As the oldest continuously operating LGBTQ center in South Florida, Compass offers a wide range of services and resources for queer people and those impacted by HIV and AIDS. The Hats Off Awards are known for honoring a circle of nonprofit leaders, causes, and volunteers for their excellence and performance. Winners will be announced later this fall. I'm super proud of Compass. My affiliation with Compass is, of course, Palm Beach Pride, because they're the home of Compass houses them, but also the Pride Business Alliance as the chamber, working with Adrian Percival and the entire team. So Compass is so diverse and such an impactful team. Super, super proud of them for this triple nod. I'm super excited to hear and hope that they're one of the winners in the fall.
Yeah, absolutely. And I must point out that they're led by a woman. Compass is led by a woman. And, I first got acquainted with them through the Smart Ride years and years ago. When I did the Smart Ride a while ago. And I was always impressed with the work they do. And I'm so happy that they have these potential honors out there, especially because they are a queer organization.
And that they haven't forgotten about HIV/AIDS.
Right.
A lot of, we think it's over. It's not over. It's really not over. And with funding being cut to health projects and to grants and to the arts and to health so nonprofits are more important than ever. and it's more difficult for them than ever. So support your nonprofits, and I'm glad this one in particular has done such good work. They're getting triple recognized.
Right.
But yeah, that they haven't forgotten about HIV/AIDS. That's so important to me. And so bless you, Compass, for all that you're doing. And whether you win or not, and you're probably going to win some of these, but just how great that people are noticing and recognizing what you're doing. So if you live in the Palm Beach area, take notice and maybe offer some support. They're doing good stuff. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Bishop Durrell Watkins, and let's queer up faith. LGBTQ plus pilgrims make historic Jubilee walk at the Vatican. For the first time in Catholic Church history, out LGBTQ pilgrims have taken part in an official Vatican Jubilee event. More than 1,300 LGBTQ plus people and their families crossed through the holy door of St. Peter's Basilica. They carried a rainbow crucifix and wore shirts marked with rainbow hearts, signaling a milestone moment of visibility and acceptance. The event marked the first time a queer pilgrimage has been included in the Church's official Jubilee calendar. During Mass, Monsignor Francesco Savino, Bishop of Cassano al Jonio and Vice President of the Italian Episcopal Conference, addressed the gathering. He said, quote, "It is necessary to get rid of prejudices. No one must feel excluded. I insist no one should feel excluded," end quote. The Jubilee, celebrated every 25 years, is a season of pardon and renewal. Pilgrims who travel to Rome pass through the Basilica doors opened only during these years. This walk through the Holy Door symbolized reconciliation and transformation, now for the first time, including LGBTQ plus faithful. The pilgrimage was organized by La Tenda di Giannata, an Italian association for LGBTQ plus Christians and their families. When their event was first placed on the Jubilee calendar, organizers called it, quote, "a unique opportunity to stand united and bear witness to the beauty of a church that embraces everyone without exclusion," end quote. Francis Di Bernardo, executive director of New Ways Ministry, told the National Catholic Reporter, quote, "Not only are LGBTQ people marching and walking to say that they're part of the church, but official church institutions are welcoming them and helping them to tell their stories," end quote. For LGBTQ plus Catholics worldwide, this pilgrimage signals a door not only opened in Rome, but also in faith communities around the globe. I'm going to behave. Usually I'm the one that says, "Oh, that's good, but," or "that's good, but it's not enough," or "that's good, but it's about 100 years too late," or. This really is just good. Right. This is people being welcomed, people being celebrated, people being included, people saying out loud that we want inclusion without exceptions, without exclusions. Now, there are other voices saying the exact opposite, right, but that these positive voices are being lifted up, are being heard. I'll get excited when they're offering marriage equality, but this is still pretty far ahead of anything in my lifetime in the Roman Catholic Church. And so
10 years ago, you would never have seen this happen.
So this is at least kind. This is at least opens up some conversation, and to say, you know who we are, and we're here, and we get to come through these doors and be part of it. That's symbolically very, very important. Hopefully it leads to more substantive things, but it's symbolically huge and a big step forward. So I'm just going to be the good guy this one time on this and say, well done, keep it up.
Yeah, I think that one of the most important things about this is the visibility. Yeah. And it makes a statement when the Catholic Church talks about this kind of thing, and that leaders in the Catholic Church are making statements that we want everybody. We don't want to exclude anybody. And I do think with this new Pope, we are seeing a little bit more openness. And I think as time goes by, it's 100 years too late. I mean, there always should have been more inclusion, but I am always the hopeful one. Yeah, I'm the hopeful one, and I give people credit for evolving.
There's that.
You know, I think that if someone has an opinion, they're presented with information, they meet people, they learn things they didn't know, and then they change their mind. I'm not going to call them a flip-flopper. I'm going to call them enlightened.
If you're on the wrong side, please flip.
It's evolving. You know, if you have a stance and you learn about it and find out that your stance isn't really the right stance, change it.
Grow. Yeah.
And I think we're seeing a lot of that here. You know, not only with the Catholic Church, but some other churches as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a staunch Catholic, and the Catholic Church was part of my staying in the closet. You know, being Hispanic and Catholic and military, and like I was so far in the closet. And this warms my heart just to know that there's at least, you know, 8 years ago, before I officially came out, I would have never thought this day would ever come.
Right.
And now you have Catholic and LGBT and rainbows and shirts and the physical mecca of the Catholic Church, if you would.
A rainbow cross going into the chapel.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the symbolisms all on one screen. Yes, very late, very late, but it's happening.
And it's a continuation of the previous pontificate too.
Right.
The just a few years ago, Happening Out Television Network they were doing a travel thing. We were in Italy, and I actually got to celebrate the Eucharist at a Roman Catholic altar. In fact, I've now done it a couple times with another Happening Out, but in Austria and Italy, but at the in the catacombs. And it was approved by the Vatican. There were people who worked for the church who actually welcomed us, set the altar for us. This would have never happened before Francis. And so we were afraid that, okay, when Francis goes, it's going to be... So apparently, he set a tone that is still in motion. And that is actually very exciting. Yeah. That if you can get 2 in a row, you know, that's real possibilities. That's real welcome.
That's the movement.
Real change. Yeah.
I think that's the movement, because so many people worldwide are leaving the church. Why are they leaving the church? Because they don't feel welcomed,
seen,
included. So
this is, if nothing else, a big step in the right direction.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Cindy Brown, and let's queer up gay culture. Meet the 10 wealthiest out LGBTQ plus billionaires. Spoiler alert, I'm not one of them. It's only been a couple of decades since the media began keeping track of out LGBTQ most wealthy. In 2025, you can't make the top 10 list unless you are a billionaire. In today's world, where fortunes often define influence, 10 names stand out, with net worths ranging from $2 to over $20 billion. Tied for 9th place are Domenico Dolce and Stefano Gabbana, co-founders of the iconic Dolce & Gabbana fashion house, each with $2.5 billion. Sharing that wealth bracket is Apple CEO Tim Cook, whose leadership following Steve Jobs made him one of the most recognized faces in tech. Joining them is Jennifer Pritzker, whose worth $2.5 billion, who Forbes reported in 2013 as the first transgender billionaire. Just ahead, Norwegian businessman Stein Erik Hagen, who came out as bisexual in 2015, holds $2.7 billion. Media giant Barry Diller, the son of Phyllis Diller, follows with $5 billion, recently reflecting on his sexuality in his memoir, Who Knew? At 4th place, John Stryker, heir to the Stryker medical fortune, stands at $5.7 billion. Entertainment mogul David Geffen ranks 3rd with $8.9 billion, known for his music, film ventures, and high-profile personal life. In 2nd place is fashion legend Giorgio Armani, who passed away on September 4th at the age of 91, leaving behind a legacy and an estimated $12.1 billion. And topping the list with a staggering $23.5 billion is tech investor and PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel, currently recognized as the richest out gay person in the world. Together, these 10 names show the wide reach of LGBTQ influence in business, fashion, tech, and entertainment, proving wealth and visibility often go hand in hand. Now, it's great that these, we just talked about these 10 billionaires. I know that many of them are very philanthropic. I don't know about all of them. I only hope that those I'm not aware of are philanthropic. But that's a lot of money. And, I often wonder, why does somebody need $23 billion?
Right.
Billion,
exactly. And there are some people who are multimillionaires because they've made billions, but they're so philanthropic that they don't keep it all. And those are the people I sort of super admire, that they're so generous. And also, I'm a bit of a socialist, so I know that wealth is actually made by workers.
I know.
Who,
I'm a bit of a socialist.
Who don't get all of that. They're making the fortune, and hopefully they're making a living wage. Not always.
Not always.
And so I'm a little conflicted. I don't want to begrudge anybody their good fortune, and I feel very conflicted about a country that has both billionaires and hungry people. Right. That's weird to me. Yeah. That we surely can be able to distribute things a little more fairly. If you have 12 billion, what if you had 900 million? And so that other,
you only
would it be terrible?
5 billion? What money can be put back into the system to help?
Like, I don't want people to be poor,
No.
But because I don't want people poor, I don't want anybody like this. Yeah. But that there are some super successful LGBTQ people, that's good. Great. And for those who are being super philanthropic, thank you. I just wish our country's values were such that I'm not trying to take anybody down, but surely we could distribute things more fairly so that more people could be lifted up.
Exactly, yeah.
If anyone is watching this show and knows or has a really good email for any of these 10 people, please let me know. I'd love for them to join the Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce as a corporate partner.
Yes, of course.
Also, if they're watching and they would like to make donations to charitable and religious organizations, the Sunshine Cathedral is a really, really good one.
There's options for all 10 of you watching.
All of you.
Exactly.
All of you are watching.
Exactly.
Legacy gifts. They're so important. So important. And, we do talk about the wealth in the gay community. Marketing agencies are always touting how much, money that the gay community has. But I want to point out, because I work with seniors, there are a lot of very poor seniors.
Yes.
That are in the LGBT community. And they're really invisible.
We feed, groceries, give groceries to 4,000 people a month here at the Sunshine Cathedral.
That's awesome.
Because that is to fight food insecurity.
Right.
But that there's that much need in our community, like in the neighborhood, and it's only getting worse as grants are being cut, as programs are being cut federally, and so those of you who've got zillions and grillions of dollars, please be even more generous with it, because our government is not.
And just to say, congratulations on you 10 for making the top 10 list.
That's true. I'm glad,
Yes.
If someone's going to have $1 billion, I want it to be queer people.
That's right.
Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your family and friends. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live digital LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Bishop Durrell Watkins, and on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Cindy Brown and Jason Núñez, We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ world, we hope you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, be transformative, and queer. Good night.